Welcome. In this video, I'll be talking to you about a testing tool, CodePro. CodePro is a static testing tool which checks your code for errors and violations without execution. It checks your code for the quality and security, but it does not check your code for syntax errors and compile time errors because it checks your code through the bytecode. It is only available for Java codes and can be used as a plugin for Eclipse based Java environments. Now let us look at the features of this tool. First is the code audit. Using this feature, you can check your code for violations and errors such as Java errors in Java coding style, inadequacy of comments, improper use of variables. Second, it can help you find similar code throughout your project, which can help you in refactoring your code. Third is it can evaluate the code using a metrics it has and can help you gauge the quality of your code. The metrics include things like number of comments in your code, the number of lines of code, the number of words, characters in your code. It can help you in estimating your cost of your project. Fourth is it can generate an evaluation report for whatever testing that you have performed. And last, it provides recommendations for fixes for violations that it has found. The advantages of this tool is very useful for improving overall quality of the code. Many of us do not think about commenting or improving the quality of a code while we are coding. So this tool can really come in handy. This tool highlights mistakes like inefficiency of coding style, improper naming conventions, proportion of comments, all of which are ignored by us generally during coding. Now let us look at the negatives of the tool. This tool has not been updated for newer versions of Eclipse. It is only available till version 3.7 because it is an outdated tool. CodePro does not detect any syntax errors, so you cannot use it to perform compile time testing or any other type of testing. It can only be used to perform static testing. Also, it does not detect errors like infinite loops, array index out of bounds divided by 0 errors, which, as you may know, are syntax and compile time errors. And also, due to incompatibility of this code tool with newer features of Eclipse, some of the features may not work. Now let us look at the installation manual of this tool. First, you need to open Eclipse. Your Eclipse window should look like this. After this, you need to go to menu bar and click on help. Here you will see a button called install new software. Click on that button and this window will open. In this tab, you have to provide the website or link through which Eclipse can download your plugin. The link for the latest version of the tool can be found here. When you click on that link, this page will open in your browser. As you can see, links for specific versions of CodePro are available here. So you may choose whichever one suits your version of Eclipse. Copy the given URL into this tab and give a name to it. Click on OK. After this, it will show you all the packages that can be installed for this tool. Select all the packages and click on next. After this, it will show the things that will be installed in your Eclipse tool. Click on next. Then it will ask you for accepting a license agreement. So after you click on I accept the license agreement and finish, it will start installing. You may be shown a warning saying that you are installing software which is not authorized. You don't have to worry about that. You just click on OK. After clicking on OK button, installation process will begin. After installation is completed, Eclipse will ask you to restart. Click on OK. After Eclipse restarts, the new window will look like this. Now let us look at the demo of the tool. After installation, Eclipse will reopen. I'm assuming that you have a project already present in your package explorer. So if you don't have, create a new project and add a template file to it. Now, I have a project of my own here, which I will be using to demonstrate the tool to you. First, expand the project, or then go to the source folder. Right click on the source folder, and you should see a CodePro tools field here. And when you select that field, you will see a lot of options here on the side, which perform different functions. First, let us look at audit code. So if you want to edit your code, you should select audit code using. This will let you select the type of rules that you want to check your code for during the testing. I have selected here CodePro default and CodePro core. You can select these things as per your choice. So is it obvious? It is obvious from the names of these rule sets that what do they perform. This will check your code for errors in Java coding style. This will check your code for potential errors. This will check for elements of Java style. If you select CodePro default, it will by default check for everything. So select these two and click on OK. So after it has processed, it will show a list of errors and violations that it has found in here. As you can see here, CodePro shows a lot of violations it has found in your code. Whenever you click on a particular violation, it will show you the description and the summary of that violation so that you can understand why that violation has been shown. Suppose this is the one I have selected, always override to string. This is a violation showing an error that you have done while coding. Second one, if you select, is the assignment in condition. So it says that the assignment operator should never be used in a condition. So here, if I double click on this, so I have expanded and double click on this, it will take me to the line where I have made this violation. So it will show that I have assigned a value in an conditions. So it is showing me a violation in here. So for each and every type of violation, it shows the number of violations encountered here, the type of violation, and when you expand it, each violation is shown as a different line so that you can locate that violation and correct it. Also, it provides a list of buttons in here which you can use for your convenience. This one will step by step look at each and every violation. This one will show the previous violation. These buttons are used to group your violations in different categories. First is the group audit rule, which is the currently selected one. Second is the group by audit rule group, which will group them according to the type of error that it has found. Like this one, these errors come under Java conventions, so they have been classified under Java conventions. Then if you scroll down, there are classes like naming conventions, performance. So in naming conventions, if you select on class naming convention and select it, it will show that this class declaration is not according to the Java coding style. So it has shown you an error. So you can also group them by the severity of the error. So if I select this, it will show how many errors have high severity, how have medium severity, how many of them have low severity. This can help you in identifying whether you should edit that error or not. CodePro provides a feature of adding your own custom rule set to the testing rule sets. To do that, first you need to go to menu bar, select CodePro. Here you will be on the drop down menu, select preferences and select CodePro. Here you will see CodePro. Expand this, go to audit. In audit, here you will be shown the rule sets are already defined. As you can see, most of the rule sets are logged because of the software permissions, but only one of CodePro default is open. You select CodePro default and it will show you a list of all the rules that are defined in the CodePro default rule set. Now if you want to define your own rule set, go to rule sets, go to rule sets, go to select, click on new, give it name to your rule set, select the kind of rule set that you want. For example, effective Java selects rules from the book Effective Java by Joshua Block. These include the practices that one needs to follow while coding in Java. So if you select that, if you select elements of Java style, when you click on finish, the rule set will be created. So as you can see, set 1 has been created in here. Now if you want to test your code using this set, you need to click on OK. Now go to the source folder of your project, right click, go to CodePro tools, select audit code using. Here you will be shown the audit rule set that you have created just now. Select rule set 1 and click on OK. So here you will be shown the violations pertaining to your rule set. So this is how you define a new rule set and use it to test your code. Now let us look at how CodePro generates code metrics that can be used to evaluate your code and perform cost estimation of your code. So as usual, go to source, right click on source, select CodePro tools and select compute metrics. So you'll be shown all the different metrics that CodePro has defined for checking the quality of your code. So these include the cyclomatic complexity, the number of average lines of code per method, the number of comments, the number of lines of code which is shown here, the number of fields, the number of semicolons, the number of types. The main purpose of this is to estimate the cost of your project using a mathematical model such as Halstead matrix. For those of you who don't know, Halstead matrix uses certain factors to estimate your cost of your code. It uses the number of operands, the number of operators in your code, number of unique operands, the program length, the number of characters used, and many other things to calculate the cost of your project. So as you can see, these metrics display all the relevant things which you can use for Halstead matrix to compute the cost of your code. Also, if you notice, this metric is red in color. This is because it has exceeded the maximum value set for the metric. So if you want to configure the metric according to your convenience, you can do so. Right click on the metric and select configure metric. As you can see, the maximum average value for this metric has been set to 10, and as the value generated by the code is 14.69, it shows a warning in the form of red. Now if you change it to 14, if you change it to 16 and select OK and rerun the metric, then that violation or error will go away. This way you can configure the metric according to your convenience. Also, you can generate a report of your metric in different formats as per your convenience. As you can export the results of your metrics as a text file, as HTML file or XML file. So if you select as HTML, you need to save the file in a location where you can access it, give it a name and press save. Now whenever you want to view the results of the matrix computation, you can just double click on the file and it will show you the results generated during this matrix computation. You can similarly do this for the audit violations also. Right click on the violation and select export violation as text. So this will save the violation and the report in the text format in the folder that you specify. You can save and the report will be saved. Moving on, let us look at how CodePro detects dead code in your project. So to do that, right click on source folder, go to CodePro tools, select find dead code. So this will take you to a window where it will show you the dead code that it has found in your project. So when you expand all the folders, it will show the different files in which it has found the dead code. So whenever you double click on a file, it will show the portion of the file which has not been used in any other part of the program. So here it says that this customer class has not been used in any other part of the project. Whenever a class has been completely striked out, like for example room.java, it shows that that class has not been used anywhere in the project, and that is a redundant class. So you can remove it or use it anywhere in your code according to your preference. So main purpose of this tool is to make you aware about the different code that you have not written or that is left to be written by you. In a very big project, this gets difficult to track sometimes. So this tool helps you in locating the part of code which is yet to be written. Now, another feature which CodePro provides is locate similar code in your project. To do that, right click on the source folder, go to CodePro tools and select file similar code. When you redo this, here it shows different files and different methods which contain similar code in your project. So whenever you expand a particular line and double click on this link, it will in two separate tabs it will show you the similar code that you have used in your project. So it also shows the line number and the location where the similar code has been found. It also shows the number of lines that are similar in the code. And when in green lines indicate the similar code which is present, red lines indicate the code which is different in that similar portion of the code, and that is why it has been highlighted as red. Yellow lines designate differing code with differing tokens highlighted with a red background. Let's look at another example. This shows the similar code in another part of your project. This is a very handy tool in the sense that whenever you edit some portion of the entire project and you are not sure how many different places do you need to edit the same code, you can use this feature to locate the similar code present in other parts of the code and edit them correspondingly. Yeah, you can also copy paste code to track bugs using this tool. So as you can see, this is a very handy tool which helps in refactoring your code and making editing easy in your code. Now let us look at the last and the most important feature of CodePro, which is to generate test cases using the JUnit framework. For those of you who don't know, JUnit is a Java unit testing framework which can be used to perform white box testing of your code. It can be used to generate test cases for individual methods of your code and can be used to run and check the correctness of the methods and the files in your code. To perform to use this feature, right click on the source folder, go to CodePro tools and select generate test cases. Now the handy feature of CodePro is that it provides you with all the prep work that you need to generate test cases. For example, to perform testing in JUnit, one needs to create a different class file for testing purposes for each and every class file. For example, I only have main file in this my project, so it has to create a main test.java file in which all the testing will be performed. But CodePro provides this file automatically whenever you select generate test cases. Also, for that particular Java class and for all the methods in that class, JUnit creates the test methods based on the code that you have written. So you don't have to do the extra work of generating each and every test method and each and every class of your project. According to me, this is a very handy tool, and it is a improvement on the default JUnit testing framework. Now, before I demonstrate to you how testing is performed using this tool, first let me explain to you the code that I have used, which I'll be testing. This is the code which I'll be testing. What does this code does is it contains a segment method which takes as arguments an array, a lower limit value and upper limit value, both of which are integers. The array is supposed to be in ascending order. It should contain integers in ascending order. And what the code does is it calculates the number of elements in the array present between the lower limit and the upper limit specified in the arguments. So, for example, here the array taken by me is this, and I have specified the lower limit and upper limit to be 5 and 18. So my expected answer should be 1, 2 and 3. So now let us test whether this code works properly or not using the testing framework. So as seen before, when we clicked on the generate test cases tab, a new folder was created, lab 10 test, which contains the test case file for my main class. Whenever I double click on it, it opens the test case file. Now there are two different windows opened here. One is the actual test class which contains some test methods which you will be using to generate test cases, and on the other side is a interactive UI provided by the CodePro, where you can insert values into your test methods directly without changing any code here. This is handy when you have a very good idea about your code and you want to quickly perform the tests. So suppose let us select test segment 1. This is a code for method for test segment 1. Here the array is t, value is l and upper value is u. Here it is calling the segment method and storing the result in the result variable, and it is asserting whether that result matches with the value provided in the first argument, which is 0. Now if you want to change these values, you can do so in two ways. You can either do this using this second window. What you need to do is select this tab and add whichever values you want to add. So I am adding values in ascending order according to my preference. So as you can see, as soon as I added these values were updated in this code as well. This is a very unique and good feature of this tool. Now let us specify lower limit and upper limit. Lower limit, let us set it to 5. Upper limit, let us set it to 18. And we expect the result to be 1, 2 and 3. So let us specify 3. Now it will check the result of your code with the value 3. Let us remove the additional test cases for simplicity purposes. You can delete test cases by selecting these test cases and pressing the delete button. So now we only have one test method in our main test.java class. Save the method and you will see a run button here which will say run main test.java. Here you can also do this another way using using right clicking on the file, selecting run as, and you be careful to select JUnit test because Java application will not give you the intended result. Select JUnit test and a new tab will open here showing the result of your test cases. So as you can see, there is also only one method and it passed successfully because the value matches with the value generated here. So as you can see, the result was also 3. This way you can perform testing of your entire project through CodePro using the JUnit testing framework. Now if you want to check whether it detects failures or not, let us change the result to another value and see whether test case fails or not. Let us specify 6 in here. Now save this file, save file and run it. Run as JUnit test. Okay. So as you can see, the status bar turns red and the test case fails because the result value did not match with the value provided in here, which is 6. So if you double click on this, it will show you the method which it uses to compare the value provided by the code and the value provided by you. Now to conclude our presentation, let me show you how you can solve problems and any confusion that you have using the CodePro help module. So select CodePro and select help. This will open a new window where you can select different problems or different topics which you can use to solve any confusions or queries that you have. So if you select CodePro Analysis User Guide, it will show you how to install CodePro, how to run CodePro, and how to perform different activities using the CodePro tool. Also, the thing that I showed you just now, JUnit test cases, detailed explanation for that can be found in here as well. Thank you, and we hope that you can use this tool to your advantage.